Hi, Cathy here with another book gem, or at least I hope you'll think it's a book gem. Today is release day for my new book, Nightbird Calling, and I'm so excited to share it with you. Today I want to talk about the inspiration behind the book and to offer some special giveaways at the end of this video. Nightbird Calling was a long time coming. It began with some quirky fictional characters in a quirky little town called No Creek, North Carolina. And the name came because my brother showed me this sign on a church and on a street called No Creek. Now, that might seem strange or not, but it was so unusual because it was a Baptist church, and most Baptist churches in the days gone by, before the days of having baptismal pools within the church, were settled by creeks or lakes or someplace that they could have full water immersion. But there was no creek there, so they named it No Creek. And as I looked at that sign, I thought, whoa, I just could imagine this whole town of fictional characters. And those quirky characters came to life for me. And I wrote stories about them, short stories, which I read at places like Borders Cafe in the old days when we had Borders, and open mics and coffee houses in the days when we gathered, and I hope we'll gather again. And I found that people responded to those characters and loved them almost as much as I did. But there was no overarching story to connect all the characters, so those stories sat in a desk drawer for many years. Finally, I decided that I would create that overarching story, and I'd write about something I'd long struggled to write about, and that is really two things. One is the racial divide that I saw growing up during years of the civil rights movement, as I lived most of my life in the South. And the other was domestic and church abuse, or control, maybe is another word, that I experienced as a young woman. And I thought both of those things are so important and so relevant for so many of us that they needed a voice. And so Nightbird Calling is the marriage of all of those things. I hope you'll enjoy it. I'll read you the very first paragraph to give you an idea. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, May 1941. My mother was a beautiful woman, a magnificent and generous woman who loved music and poetry and literature and gardens. She loved to dance, though she only ever did so in the privacy of her room with me. Her smile, though rare in her last months, how brightened the sun. She was a devoted wife and loving mother, however ill-used by her husband. If anyone says differently, they're a liar, misled by my father. So we know that there's a story there. The offerings that I have for today, I have a copy of My Utmost for His Highest by Oswald Chambers. Now, you probably already know, if you've read others of my books, that I often include a character or the writings of a character that I feel are really influential, that have impacted my life. And this book is one of those. This is a beautiful edition of the classic work. You will find not that Oswald Chambers is a character in the story, but that the correspondence of his wife Biddy is. And also you'll find references. It's so hard not to tell you too much about this story, but you'll find the influences of this book in the story. So this is one of my giveaways, along with, of course, a signed copy of Nightbird Calling. The other one is Knocking at God's Door. These are the personal prayers of Oswald Chambers, and it's a revolving calendar. So I'll read you today, January 5th. O Lord, grant that in sweet and gracious likeness to yourself, I might delight your heart this day, perfect my own, and be a pure blessing to all around me. I love this. I think you'll love it too. So we'll have two winners, and both will get a copy of Nightbird Calling signed. And all you have to do to enter is to go to my website, cathygolke.com, and and sign up for my newsletter. And when you do, you'll get this free, absolutely. Into the Starry Night. It's a short story. It's actually a prequel to Nightbird Calling. It's one of the short stories that I wrote years ago, recently edited, and it introduces you to some of the characters you'll meet in Nightbird Calling. They're a couple years younger, but I think you'll come to like them, maybe love them as I do. So I hope you'll enjoy this. I hope that you'll read Nightbird Calling, and I'll be back next week with another giveaway and talking about those quirky characters in Nightbird Calling. So don't forget to sign up for my newsletter, cathygolke.com, and leave a comment. I'm sorry, I should have said that. Leave a comment here on Facebook. Feel free to share this video so others can join in. And I will select a winner and I will announce it on Facebook. I will announce the winner on Facebook. So take care. God bless. I look forward to seeing you next week.